started real estate school, got my real estate license, and I struggled. Because I had lots of challenges in my life. Some of those being that I was 23 years old at the time, didn't know anything about real estate, didn't know anything about San Antonio. I had very low confidence from previous relationships. I was introverted, a very strong introvert, I should say. I was scared to talk to people, and I was terrified of rejection. And just even a couple of those things would make it difficult to sell houses, but I had all of them. And to be 100% transparent, I still struggle with some of these today. So the turning point was when I went to my broker and said, hey, I need some help. What do I need to do to learn how to sell houses? Because I'm this, and this, and I'm not gonna door knock, I'm not gonna cold call. So what do I need to do? And he looked me in the eye and said, Lisa, you are in the wrong business. And well, I completely understand where he was coming from. His words hurt. And I knew that I was supposed to be a realtor, but I didn't know how to get there. But his words were exactly what I needed because it lit a fire inside of me. So today I'm going to go over 5 ways that I was able to get outside my comfort zone, get out of my own way to take my business from absolutely nothing to leading one of San Antonio's top real estate teams. Now remember, this is the way I do it, and so there's all kinds of ways to do it. You just need to be consistent with what you choose to do. Tactic number 1 is connecting with people where you are. This should be one of the easiest tactics to implement because you're already doing it. It doesn't require any additional time. It doesn't require any additional money. And while I say it's the easiest tactic to implement, for introverts like myself, it's a lot easier said than done. Because I'm that mom who would sit through my kids' practices for an hour, and I would use my iPhone as a shield to protect myself from people talking to me. Because if you pretend you're busy on your iPhone, nobody's gonna start conversations with you. And that's what I used as my form of protection, because that's how terrified I was to talk to people. What if they didn't like me? What if they thought I was too salesy? And all the mind games that I made up in my head. So the way I overcame this was I created games for myself. So if I was gonna go to a practice, I would say, hey, I need to have at least one impactful conversation by the time I left. If I was gonna go to a networking event, I had to make the goal of, I'm gonna make at least 3 brand new connections. These little games that I made with myself were a form of accountability to make sure I was being intentional about creating relationships. Some of the ways that I was able to connect with people really, really well that worked for me were, just like I talked about, the kids' activities. PTA, Parent Teacher Association. So if you have school-aged kids, this was gold for my business. I was up at the school all the time, helping the principal, the admin, the teachers, the kids, the parents, the PTA board. So much so that my youngest son, who was in kindergarten at the time, thought I worked at the school. And I did, because I was working on helping other people. And by helping other people, that in turn blessed my business, because givers gain. Game night. I did bunco, left, right, center, which is a game a lot of women play. We put my husband in charge of doing men's poker night for our neighborhood as another channel. Book club, something I'm currently doing right now. Super great for my business. Fitness groups. Back in the day, I worked out at Lifetime Fitness at 5:30 a.m. And when you go to the gym at 5:30 a.m., it's hard. And so the people next to you feel your pain and you guys are struggling. And so when you're struggling together, it builds a different kind of relationship. Phil Puma does this every day with his Faith 45 group. We're out at 5 o'clock in the morning, and that group is tight-knit. Country club. One day I went and visited my coach. He's like, what do you like to do? And I said, I like to play tennis. He said, you need to join a country club. Thinking to myself, oh, okay, I'm not sure how I'm gonna tell my husband this. I told my husband all he sees is dollar signs because it was $500 a month. All I saw was dollar signs. I saw the dollar signs of it as being a return on investment. I saw it as all the people that I'm going to be able to help and the money that I'm going to make because of it, not the $500 a month as an expense. First month goes by playing tennis twice a week, nothing happens. Second month, third month, the fourth month comes and I get my first referral. Closed $1 million home 90 days later. Then they had family move into town. We were able to sell a $500,000 home. And a $500,000 home back then in San Antonio was a pretty big deal. Then another family member moved in town. We were able to sell so many homes through this tennis club that my husband told me that I was never allowed to cancel that membership. My hobby is tennis, but a lot of people like to play golf, pickleball, garden, go hiking. And if you like doing something and you can't find a group, create your own. Church groups will take place. At the end of 2023, our church as a whole did Financial Peace University, Dave Ramsey's program. We broke up into small groups, and whenever you get talking about money and relationships, it can be really tough. So we had a lot of vulnerability, we had a lot of transparency, and we had a lot of trust in our group. So I was able to connect with people that way. College alumni groups. Dayton Schrader is the master of college alumni groups. He has the Texas A&M alumni all wrapped up in San Antonio. Because of him, I joined the Michigan State alumni in San Antonio. And last year, I was able to sell 3 properties. I already have a referral from one of them this year. So that's been a great source of business, source of connection with people. But I would say, no matter which one of these you do, again, you need to be intentional.